Hello.
Hello, Claire. How are you
How
doing?
we always say that at the same time. I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I might sound a little like, ooh, who is that deep-throated? Yeah, but I feel like me today after a number of days of being sick.
Yeah, bless
Gross.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, but all
If
good.
you're not
All
ill
good.
often, it must be quite like you're not very ill very often, are you? So it must be quite a bit of a strange
Yeah.
thing to relate
Yeah.
to from a place of calm.
It
Definitely.
was. It was.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
with your very husky voice, I'd like you to wrap yourself around a word. Are you ready? The word
Ready.
is wanting.
Wanting. Oh. Hmm. Yeah. Okay, so there's different things. It was interesting. As soon as you said the word, I felt this sort of pull from my sort of chest area, sort of a pulling forward. That was so interesting. Yeah. Well, I see it in kind of a couple of ways, right? And that kind of I think it goes back to how the system works, right? Where we have this physical life, this physical land, this material plane that we live on. And within that, there's things that we, you know, want from a place of maybe, mm, maybe it's not always true to our nature. Maybe it's sometimes things, I've certainly had things that I've wanted in my life that upon reflection, after many years of wanting some things, and upon reflection, it's like, "Oh my god, I didn't really want that." Like, really. I wanted it because I thought that's what you're supposed to do, that's what you should want, and that's what you should go for. And I discovered what I've really been discovering is that wanting, I think, is it can it's yeah, it's so much simpler and easier when we're allowing ourselves to go for the things that our true nature wants. It's like, I've in into law of attraction and understanding all of that, and some words that are used in that way are, is it something that you just kind of want from this thinking mind, or is it a true desire? I kind of call that true desire something like that's a true nature pull. That's a true nature nudge. That's something that comes from deep within you. And it's going to be, yeah. Hmm. When I say these things, it's so curious because there's so many, like, there's billions of people on the planet, and we all have things that we desire. It's like I'm going in a crazy place I never really thought I'd go. I mean, it's where we always go, but if we all come from the same source energy, how come we're not wanting all the same things? How come we're not desiring all the same things? How come we're not, like, how come those things how come our lives look so different? And it's like, I guess that's where I see our wanting, if we're looking at a wanting from a personal mind or a wanting from our true nature, it's very different and it's a very different feel. And the wanting from our personal mind can have us, you know, sort of shooting for things, wanting things that many other people have because we see it and we think we should. Yet when we want from this true nature perspective, it's so unique. There's even though we come from the same source, there's all of these different expressions of how we can experience, that nature. Yeah. What are you hearing? Because I can feel that I could start to muddle things up a bit, but I do see sort of, wanting in 2 different ways, and I just put different words to it to distinguish it because it helps me. Wanting. Yeah. One feels great. One feels great, and we get led there, and I feel that the other with our personal mind requires a lot of effort and angst and, uh, you know, like
And
go ahead. Yeah,
and
go ahead.
yeah, I guess that sort of the wanting that's that, well, because this is what society says I should want, that's massively about conditioning, isn't it? About, good test results and then, good qualifications and then a degree and a job and a blah, 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 and 2.4 children and a dog and a house by the sea or, whatever, and a car or a couple of cars or, whatever the list of things is that we apparently should want kind of thing. And I guess those wants are underpinned, aren't they, by the idea that once we get them, we'll fulfill some kind of, when I have X, I'll feel Y. Because we look at the people who've got those things who are, let's face it, plastered all over the internet. And this has probably got worse now because of the fact that there's so much information telling us about how other people's lives are so cushy and hunky-dory and wonderful. And we see them smiling by their Porsche. And so therefore we think, well, I'll smile when I've got a Porsche all the time. I'll never be unhappy again when I've got that red Porsche on the drive. It's the last thing I want, by the way, in the world. But
Yeah.
that, yeah, the sense that we'll become, like if we're envious of the person who has the red Porsche, the sense is that we want it because we kind of, well, the neighbours, they're going to think I'm ace when I've got. They're not going to give a flying choo-choo. Well, I don't know what a flying choo-choo is, but we're having it anyway. They're not going to give a flying whatever about our red Porsche, other than about, oh yeah, they've got a red Porsche. Let's crack on with my day. There's not going to be that we're not going to make other people feel a certain way about us. And of course, many of our wants are underpinned by, well, Claire Diamond says, fear, need, insecurity, shame. It's trying to address those things. So we're doing something. If we're doing something or wanting something from that place, from the place of, well, when I've done this or when I've got this, when I've created this, then I'm going to feel better in some way. That those wants are like dirty. They're sullied with the ego, aren't they? And they're not, and you'll never get the feeling that you're looking for from those things. And also your getting of them will be almost hindered by the underlying real want. What's the real want underneath? The surface want is the Porsche, let's say. The underneath one is to be respected and admired and blah 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 by my neighbors. Well, you're not going to get the fulfillment of that thing. So probably often in many ways we're kind of repelling the Porsche anyway. If we just want the Porsche because we admire the engineering, we quite like to drive about. It's a soft top. We're going to have the wind through our hair, and we really like that kind of view. Or it's just this kind of, yeah, that just there's not I'm going to feel happier when. It's just I appreciate Porsches actually. I think they're great cars. I love the ethics of the company. I doubt that's true, but anyway, or whatever it is, then it's just got this kind of, yeah. And then the getting of it is also just coming from quite a practical level then. It's not with the need to fulfill some lack in ourselves. And so then it's like clean. And the other thing that, like what you were saying, like it is so different when it's just like I'm taking my fiance and my daughter and her boyfriend. We're going to Ibiza in a few weeks, and that is just like Bruce is like, Sophie said thank you for the holiday. He kind of gets caught up in that, and I'm like, it's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because what fun for the four of us to go on a grown-up holiday together. You know, we'll do some of our thing. I've kind of said to him, look, we'll say we're doing this. Do you want to come with us? Because they don't get out of bed till about lunchtime a lot of the time. But you know, we tend to be early risers, so we'll kind of leave it very open. It's just, and it's also Sophie's not had a holiday in the sun for a few years now, and I'm, you know, I just want to do something for her like that, and for her to spend some nice time with her boyfriend. And it doesn't feel like it's got any of that, so that she feels grateful, and so she thinks I'm an amazing mum, and so that she, you know, is, you know, forever saying, "Mummy, that holiday in Ibiza was the best thing ever." It doesn't feel like it's got any of that. It's just how exciting, and because almost I think because it came from that place, the money to do it just sort of was there. Really, I couldn't see it was there, but it was there. Um, and yeah, it's just coming from that place just feels so different. And you know, often wanting has got like a spiritual bad name. As if all
Mm.
the people who are enlightened, not people like me and you, Michaela, you're just not normal people like us, but all those enlightened people, they never want anything. They just want to sit on their meditation stool and, you know, just be. They just want to be. They don't want to go anywhere. They don't want to see the world. Don't want any of that superficial stuff like Porsches. They just want to sit and be. I don't think that's real. I think wanting can get a bad name. Which, you
Mhm.
know, a lot of this stuff is the stuff that's just landing with me through, you know, through the stuff I'm doing with Clare Diamond. But yeah, it's
Oh.
what's the real want is the question, I think. How does that resonate?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's so cool, and I wanna take that, the and that, what is the real want? Because here's the thing, like, I know it's happened to me so many times throughout my life when I think that, I want this thing," and I get that thing, and it's like, "Hmm, flat."
Mm,
It's just like, "Okay, what's next? What's next? What do I want next? What do I want next?" There's, like, the when we're wanting things, not because there's something coming up from within you that's like, "Yeah, that would be cool. That would be fun. That'd be" whatever it is. When it lights you up from the inside, that the getting of that, it's not and it's not even the getting of it, because I see that we're guided towards things, and that it's not just the getting of something, it's the journey along the way to the
mm,
getting of it. And the thing that we thought we were shooting for, even from this initial place, it might look very different and actually take you to a place that, oh my gosh, I'm actually not going anywhere near the thing that I thought I was going for, whether it's a thing or an experience or whatever. It actually, along the way, has taken me here and there and over there, and now I'm going here, which I never could have got to if I wouldn't have just followed the internal nudge of, "Let's let's take this. Let's follow that and see where it's gonna go." Yeah, I have felt that flatness so many times. So I get that. And I'll still get caught up in, and it's like, hang on, why do I want that? And it's like, I can see very clearly, oh, I want it because of something outside of me that is going to make things, make where I think it's going to make a meaning of me that I want, and it's just like, "Nope, not going there." Yeah, things yeah, mhm. So what would be, helpful is really kinda getting to know this feeling, because all of our listeners have experienced this before, where they've, gone for something that they wanted for some reason, like, so that. I want it so that, not just for the, "Oh my gosh, this just feels so good," but so that, and then there's this gap in between.
Well, it's
It's
so
really
that I can
helpful.
secure the separate self, isn't it? That's it. So that I can secure me.
Yes.
It's always that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is always about feeling safe, feeling, whether it's about inclusion, if I have what everybody else has, I'll belong. I'll be included. I won't, there's all kinds of things that we make up. Yeah, and everyone has the ability to notice the difference. And that when you kind of come to that, take some time, slow down, and just notice like what are you striving for? What are you striving for right now? I've been sick for a few days. My levels of energy and strength and everything has been up and down. And I was in tears all of Monday. I was so emotional. It didn't matter what I blubbered on the phone to this guy who, anyways, he's one of our financial advisor kind of people. I had nothing to cry about. It was signing some forms for my son and his education fund thing. There was nothing to cry about, nothing. But I had cried all day long just about nothing. My husband was telling me about things that were happening this day, and I had tears streaming down me. It's like, just ignore it. I don't even know. I'm just letting the tears flow. I don't even know. There's no sorrow, there's no nothing. But I just wanted to sort of lay that out because I was I don't know how to word this. It was like I was cracked open. It was like there was a break in my thinking that happened. And what happened, sorry, this is a long story, getting to the point of I took my dog for a very slow, short walk to the park or to on path. And in this moment, I saw a woman with her coffee go mug on the playground with her little tiny kids. And in that moment, I thought, whoa, what if what if I didn't have to think about business? Because Claire, that I've done so much training and stuff that it's like I've ground stuff into my brain about business and how it should look and how I should be doing things and learning more and all of that. And I had this break of seeing, what if I didn't have to think about that? And I didn't. But I just saw what I felt was this, oh my God, what do I truly want? So anyways, I think things are going to change because it's like, yeah, I don't think everybody has to be broken to their knees by a sickness or illness to make space for themselves to see like, is this what I really want in this way? And that's a question I think any of us can ask at any moment when we're feeling, catching that it's hard. And it's like, oh my gosh, like I've been at it for years and it looks like I'm still standing still. Like those are really good things to questions like, what are you really striving for here? And why? For what sake? Is it something for that you've thought up that you think you should? Or is it something that you truly want? And is what you truly want in there somewhere? You've just kind of covered it up. I think it'd be really helpful to spend some time asking yourself some reflective questions around that. What about you?
I think the word striving,
Mm,
I think when you're flowing with like you say, with not the want of the thing, but the enjoying the journey of getting there, it does not feel like striving. It doesn't feel hard, it doesn't feel hustly. you may butt up against yourself sometimes. You'll go to do something, you know, put yourself out in the world or share something or ask your boss for a raise or whatever, you know, that kind of stuff that brings up those uncomfortable feelings. But the direction itself won't have that. It just won't feel hard. Whereas when we're pushing for something because we think it's going to make us feel better in some way, I think it generally feels hard. That's what causes burnout, isn't it? You know, if I just have this and that and that, and then I'll feel better. And so we get all those things all nicely lined up in a row and we don't feel better. So then we have to go find some more things to line up in a row to feel better. And then that just goes on and on and on. And of course, I can relate to that from personal experience that, you know, trying to fix the outside world so I could fix me was exhausting, absolutely exhausting, and led to exhaustion, full-on exhaustion. So yeah, it's whereas I really see that when there's something that just feels alive, and yeah, I've had a real creative buzz in the last week and created quite a lot of stuff for Insight Time, and it's just come from, it's had nothing on it other than just like, yeah, whoa, that's like, oh, I want to talk about that, I want to talk about that. It's just had this kind of excited kind of flow to it, and not as much on it as things have had. And interestingly, since that kind of shifted, I've also had loads of interactions on the platform with people as well. Like there's been a little bit more of a buzz around some of my courses that have been quiet for a while. They've kind of woken up again. And yeah, there's just something about, it's all energy, isn't it? And it's the energy, I guess, with which we're going into things that if it's that, well, once I've got this, I'll feel that. It's just got an offness to it. And it doesn't move us really in the direction we actually want to go in anyway. That thinking's like a block, isn't it? Like a wall. So that could probably do this one for another hour.
Oh, we could. Yeah. What I saw, one last thought in what you were saying, and you said this a couple of times. This, when we want to do something in order to or so that we're looking to feel better at some point. What I just saw, and I've said that so many times myself too, and what I just saw is that, oh my gosh, right at the beginning of that, right at the get-go of when we're about to embark on something, already there's a feeling that will indicate to you whether this is, because sometimes, I never really thought about this. Sometimes it's like after like, I've been churning around in some stuff for so many years, I couldn't even see it. Like, I couldn't see it. But it's like at the beginning, there was likely already that feeling inside to indicate to me whether this is something that I want so that in order to, and or whether use the word alive. Like, does it make me feel alive? Because often things that we want to do so that we can get feeling alive, it doesn't feel great in them. It's almost like okay, I gotta muster up whatever I need to go and do these things. So that was, yeah. Our bodies are, are where we feel our emotions, our feelings. It's like always there to like indicate to you, yeah, don't go that way, go this way or whatever. Anyway, wow, yeah, this is a big subject. It's
Yeah,
in
and I think
everything.
when we start, yeah, and maybe the thing to say to the people listening is that, when we start off at the beginning, if we can try and ask some of those more curious questions about, what do I think this is going to give me? Is this to get something? really to kind of dig deep on that almost before you start going for the thing. Because like you say, once you're like caught up in it and you start doing the doing and you're hustling and you're pushing and it's probably quite difficult then to kind of do that stop and go, oh, is this what I really want? And I think we do. We have those moments like you've had where you just the body makes you stop, and it's in those times often where we just stop and think, well, is this what do I really want? So what do I really want is probably the question to for people to ask and find the answer to. And we will see them next time, or rather they will hear us.
That's right. That's right. That's very good. Good word, Claire. Really good discussion, talk, exploration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you take care of yourself.
Yeah, I will. You too.
Yeah, lots of love.
Ciao.
Bye.